Girls love cookies.
Are you stuck at home all day? Does it feel like you can't escape food while you're in quarantine? Well, trust me, you're not alone.
Yeah. See my peanut butter jelly snack, pull it ride, busky, painting. That's my sunshine when it's raining. That's my boo, yeah. When I'm all alone, she.
What's up, guys? So you have editing Stephanie here. So I'm currently editing the video. I have one really quick announcement and I also have one really quick disclaimer. The at-home program that I've been working on basically since the end of December is finally live. It's going to be 6 programs ranging from beginner to advanced level lifters, and it's gonna be half off for the launch. So if you're interested and want more information about it, there will be a link down below in the description box. So for the quick disclaimer, I know that there's gonna be some people who think that there are more important things to talk about right now. However, I do think that there are some issues that may not seem to be important that kind of get pushed to the wayside that actually are very important. This quarantine could forever change your relationship with food, whether you've struggled with food in the past historically or not. I don't want this topic to become taboo, and I do think that it's important for people to have an honest conversation about this now as it's happening. I hope you enjoy the video. There's a lot of good information and tips in there. So let's talk about food. My favorite thing to talk about. So I know I don't need to reiterate this to you guys. We all know this is like a strange, stressful, weird time for us all. But I hope wherever you are in the world that you are safe, practicing social distancing, and you are healthy. And of course, if you are an essential worker, I'm sure I can speak for everybody and say thank you. I hope you're safe and we all really appreciate you. But as for the rest of us, we're all stuck at home, probably binge watching Tiger King and taking very frequent trips to the refrigerator and possibly even more to the pantry. We might be constantly surrounded by people in our house, which can be very stressful, or completely alone and just stressed out, like me. And honestly, I was like this close to buying an Alexa because I just wanted someone to talk to. My security system really just isn't cutting it for me.
Simply save on.
Hello? Which brings me to the kitchen, which surprisingly has everything to do with being lonely or stressed. Trust me, if you are either stress eating because you are bored, or both, you're not the only one. And I can't tell you exactly what to do at a time like this because everyone does have their own unique situation, but I think I can offer some guidance or tips, and I'll also tell you guys how I've been dealing with quarantine as someone who is all in. And as a quick disclaimer, I'm not trying to prescribe you to do anything. If you need specific help with anything, I would go to a professional or registered dietitian. Your health is first and foremost of the utmost importance, especially right now. But with all of that being said, first we're gonna talk about how I've been dealing with food in quarantine, and then after that, I'll share some tips with you. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've been social distancing way before it's been mandated, so I feel like I know a thing or two about being home all day, constantly surrounded by food. So in quarantine, I've been doing what I do best. I've been eating. Definitely way less than extreme hunger, Stephanie, because my appetite isn't nearly as big anymore. But worldwide pandemic or not, as somebody who is all in, I eat when I feel hungry because I've given myself that unconditional permission to eat regardless of the environment, regardless of the situation, and even regardless if I'm actually hungry or not. It just completely throws all food guilt out the window because I've already given myself permission to do exactly that, eat when I want to eat. So I rarely ever feel guilty anymore. But if you happen to be new and don't know about my all-in journey, I'll link a few videos for you down below. And of course, I've heard people tell me that's mental hunger, not physical hunger. And yeah, that's great and all, but it honestly means nothing to me, especially would have meant nothing to extreme hunger, Stephanie. Hunger is hunger in my eyes, and when I feel hungry, I don't just go for a walk or drink a glass of water. I get a snack or make a meal. So now what going all in has done for me, well, it fixed my extreme hunger. And going through this quarantine with an abundance of food, it's not really that different than before the quarantine. And because I've been eating like this for almost a year, I guess you would call it intuitively, nothing's really changed. And honestly, if I had gone all in when it was a quarantine, it probably would have been so much easier because I was gaining a lot of weight and I was eating so much food. And during a quarantine, you're not really seeing a ton of people right now. So I don't know, it's just something that I've been thinking about. But anyways, let's just get into some of the issues that you might be having, and maybe I can tell you what I would do personally to help you get through this quarantine. Again, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. If you do need help, I recommend going to see a specialist or get some coaching, but maybe I can help ease your racing mind and help people who are really struggling with food right now. So the first problem that you might be encountering is that you might be eating more than usual right now. This could be because of the proximity to the kitchen, possibly you are bored, or you're procrastinating, or you're just stressed and just want some freaking ice cream. So to that I say, right now in these really strange times, just please, please, please be more kind to yourself. Forgive yourself for being off your usual diet right now, and just have a little bit more patience with yourself. When I first went all in, once I gave myself permission to do just that, it made me feel significantly less guilty because I've already accepted it. You could journal it. I recommend journaling in general, but you could explicitly state to yourself that I accept my eating habits are different right now, and I'm just gonna give myself more wiggle room with my food intake, and it's totally okay. We are all eating differently right now. Nobody's being perfect with their eating behavior, and it's totally normal. And don't feel the need to punish yourself at an already stressful and uncertain time. Just know that this isn't gonna last forever. So the next problem that you might be dealing with is not necessarily how much you're eating, but that you might not have complete control of what you are eating. Say you're at home from college and you're staying with your parents and you don't have control over what they buy at the grocery store or what they make for dinner. Or say you're alone like me and your normal staples at the grocery store are out of stock or just really hard to get. This rigidity in your routine just has to be more flexible. So I'd say, in addition to being more kind to yourself and the other people around you in quarantine, you also have to be more flexible. The way the world is right now is literally out of anyone's control, so it would just make things a lot easier if you were just less rigid with your diet. Eat different foods and see it as a good thing that you're getting more variety in your diet and trying new things. Maybe mentally tell yourself during this time of quarantine, I'm going to purposefully make it a time that I want to try different types of foods that I don't normally eat. And if you are just more accepting of this, you are less likely to feel any guilt from it. The next thing is definitely a biggie. So what goes hand in hand with food? That is exercise. And I know this is something that a lot of us are struggling with at the moment. It's like a historical moment that we cannot go to the gym. I mean, there's definitely times that I don't want to go to the gym, but the fact that I can't is a hard thing to swallow because nobody likes being told what to do. But exercise is a tricky one. So I say if you love exercising and it's a stress reliever and it makes you a lot less focused on all the problems that are going on in the world, all the stress that you currently have, and just less focused on all that mess, I personally think that you should find a way to move your body in a way that you enjoy. Whether that be that you like to do yoga, or you happen to have some at-home gym equipment, or just going for a walk. And not in a I'm going to distract my hunger type of walk. If you're hungry, definitely eat. But in a I want some fresh air and want to move because I've been sitting all day type of walk. So I do think that exercise can be mentally and physiologically good for you. However, on the flip side, if you are feeling very stressed, this might not be the best time for you to exercise, especially if you're the type of person where exercise is like a type of chore and you don't really find a lot of joy in it and you feel like more stressed when you have to exercise. Now might not be the best time. You need to think about your health and keep yourself healthy right now. And overstressing can actually be detrimental to your health. And for me, resting was actually one of the most pivotal points in my all-in journey. I didn't talk about it much, but it was like the end of month 2 and the beginning of month 3, I completely took off training. So I stopped training for about a month because I was traveling from Australia to Bali, and then in Bali, I ended up getting really sick.
How you feeling? Sick? Oh no.
Feeling like a sick.
So when I returned from Bali, I just completely rested. And it was such an important part of my journey because it was a time that I think I made the most progress with my extreme hunger and the most progress with how I was feeling. It was a time that I was feeling really happy, and rest was exactly what I needed, and I didn't know it. So please don't feel guilty about resting. It might just be exactly what your body needs right now. And in either scenario, whether you decide to exercise exercise or not, I just want to really reiterate to you, maybe so you feel a lot less FOMO, that nobody can go to the gym right now. So you're definitely not alone. And the next issue is definitely something I've mentioned before, but it is more prevalent now more than ever, now that we're all at home all day long, all the time, all surrounded by our full-length selfie mirrors. You have to stop body checking. Don't do it when you first wake up. Don't do it when you walk into your living room and pass a mirror. And don't do it every time you use the restroom. It's just not gonna make anything better right now. It's honestly like a really terrible habit, and a lot of people do it. Most of us do it, so don't feel bad if you do it. But once you stop doing it, you'll find how freeing it is to be so much less focused on your body. And another really quick disclaimer, I do know that I post about my physique, how I'm looking, how I'm feeling on my IG story and on YouTube all the time.
Do you ever have one of those days where you wake up and you're just like, no, not today, not today?
But I am documenting my all-in journey, so I feel like this is kind of a specific scenario. However, most people are not documenting their body journey like I am. So if you're not, it's probably not a good idea to body check all the time. And if you're struggling with anything, even things that I didn't even mention, now might be a good time to start journaling. I know I preach about it all the time, but it helped me so much in hard times. It might be something that could really ease your mind if you just put your thoughts down on paper. You can literally write the most ridiculous stuff in there, which I did all the time. I gave myself little pep talks, I gave myself daily words of encouragement, and a lot of the things probably sounded so dumb out loud, but I wrote them down and it really helped me a lot. So if you're not journaling right now and you find yourself really stressed right now, pause Tiger King and give journaling a chance. So that's it for this video. I really hope that it helped you. Maybe it just helped your racing mind or the negative thoughts that you're feeling about yourself right now. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you happen to be struggling, it might really help someone else read your comment just so they can find solace in the fact that they're just not alone. So if you want to vent down there, go ahead. It'll probably help a lot of people. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you happen to be new, and I will see you in a video very soon. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys can love yourself too. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, she my peanut butter jelly snack, pull it ride, busky, painting. That's my sunshine when it's raining. That's my boo, yeah. When I'm all alone, she pull through. So when I catch that wave.